Releasing in early access, the first-person detective stealth video game Shadows of Doubt by British developer Cole-Powered Games and publisher Firestar Games is truly the first of its kind. Set in an immersive, fully simulated sci-fi noir city of crime and corruption, Shadows of Doubt sees every world unique to your own save. With a procedurally generated world to explore, Shadows of Doubt sees you living within a hyper-industrialized setting of the 1980s as a private detective of sorts, returning to your career you had once left in the past. As you attempt to solve crimes and track down a serial killer on the loose, Shadows of Doubt sees you utilizing different gadgets, gathering evidence through fingerprints, call histories, emails, CCTVs, and more, pinning together evidence boards from your key discoveries, meeting with citizens for differing snippets of information, and so much more. With no real story other than to simply solve crimes as you please, Shadows of Doubt is perhaps one of the truest detective experiences out there, giving you full reign of a world and your own selections of crimes to investigate as to whatever seems most intriguing to piece together. The entire world of Shadows of Doubt is quite literally your oyster, as you're able to break into any apartment, make yourself at home inside of any bar, investigate hotel rooms, scour the back streets, look through offices, and of course decorate your own apartment. Though every building has its similarities, it's a refreshing amount of freedom to quite literally be able to go anywhere and do anything you please, though of course with the limitations of the law enforcing and a little much needed stealth at times for your more sketchy explorations. Pulling apart crime scenes and making different connections is continually pleasing, with Shadows of Doubt making you feel as though you're truly the one in charge and doing the work. There's absolutely no hand-holding and no guidance, just simply free reign at every turn for you to make your own informed progressions on every single case. With every success, you'll be paid and able to purchase new gadgets, equipment, and of course, make your apartment a home with new customizations too. In terms of graphics, Shadows of Doubt is undoubtedly a work of art, in a voxel, pixelated style that absolutely shines with cyberpunk-esque Asian iconography and gorgeous lighting lining the streets. Neon lights, paper lanterns, Chinatown arches, and more amidst tones of a city that go through real weather and night and day cycles as though it were truly playing out. It's hard not to feel completely wrapped up in learning more of this world. The way lighting and shadows bounces off surfaces makes it even more impressive, as well as creating misty blurs in the fog. There's just so much realism embedded into a style that's deeply pixel-rooted, and it works exceptionally. Our biggest critique of Shadows of Doubt is simply how utterly overwhelming it can feel initially. With a sparse amount of gadgets to use, the vast evidence board, and many items to keep track of within it, the large open world to play within, keeping track of your own health and freezing outside in the cold, and other mechanics from fighting to hiding that you constantly need to keep track of. It is, of course, a lot, but that's a positive in many ways, as whilst it has so much to offer, it certainly doesn't hold back on the realism for an experience you'll genuinely feel proud for cracking each case within. It can be tricky in many ways to solve the crimes, and without an overarching plot, you may also perhaps feel a little lost too. But what Shadows of Doubt does, it does more than well, and looks to target an audience specifically interested in those mechanics. Overall, for a game released in early access, Shadows of Doubt is beyond exceptional. It truly has so much depth to explore within your own procedurally generated worlds, progression you genuinely wish to follow and complete, and crimes that you'll feel completely immersed in solving. It may have some issues in being overwhelming in nature, as well as a little lackluster and repetitive gameplay as time goes on, but given its release is still vastly in its early days, this is more than a title we think will have an incredibly exciting future as it continues to evolve. Definitely check out Shadows of Doubt if you're a fan of open worlds, puzzles, or crime solving, or just want to try out something that's different to anything else you've ever played before. Shadows of Doubt is available to play on Steam and Windows, purchasable in the link in the description. Existential was kindly provided with a Steam code for this review. Thank you for watching. We truly hope you check this game out, as it's such an individual experience. If you know someone that's into their open worlds or crime solving, then feel free to send them this review to perhaps inspire them to check this interesting game out. Please consider liking, subscribing, and tapping the notification bell to keep up to date with our future uploads. Thanks as always to our patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to check out our expanding list of benefits, check out the link in the description for further details. Thanks again, and until next time, We've been Existential.